Okay, I'm Eddie Sullivan, and I'm the one who organized this event on short notice. I apologize, but thank you all for coming out on short notice. My company is CYA Team. I'm not here today representing them, but the information I'm sharing is things that we've learned throughout the years and we've put into practice with many other companies to help them get results. What I'd like to do is real quick, go around the room, say who you are, tell us your business and why you're here today. What is your objective? What is it that you want out of the time we have together? So if you don't mind, let me start over here with our videographer.
Hi. My name is also Sullivan. John and Steve. Friends and family know me as JC. My mom was from the South, so Dad was John, and I became, instead of John, we wrote O'Hara. I became JC, John Charles. And I'm here to collect about $5,000 that he promised me today. So we'll see if he calls stuff. Good luck. Nice to meet you all.
Thanks. And then if we can come over here.
Hello everyone. I'm Tim Borkowski. I'm a financial representative with Western Southern.
One thing that you wanted to get out of today, what would that one thing be? Instagram.
Learn how to reach our customers.
I didn't hear that.
Learn how to reach our customers.
Learn how to reach your customers. Okay. When you say our customers, tell me more.
In a hot dog restaurant, we get a lot of our business off of Facebook. We don't know anything about Instagram, and we need to, and that's a younger crowd as we understand, Instagram versus Facebook. And so we'd like to go try and attract some of their dollars into
Okay.
our restaurants.
All right. Now, when you gather your customers from Facebook, are you compiling them into a software, any type of mailing list?
It's just from posts.
Okay. All right. Great.
And see, that's, we don't really do that.
Okay. Colleen?
I would say using social media for business to business.
Social media. Social media for B2B. Okay, great. I'm not going to cover any of that today. That was none of my plans, so I'll take all that and put it on the parking lot for later. Those are all some great ideas. Over here, Megan, is there anything that you'd like to get out of today?
Maybe like search engine optimization would be most helpful for us.
Okay, there's two types of search engine optimization. One is called SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. The other one is SEM. Does anybody know what that stands for? Search Engine Marketing. What's the difference between the two? Search engine optimization happens generically. Okay, you can do things to enhance the search engines finding your sites, okay, but according to Google, there's over 1 trillion websites. Okay, so it's pretty hard to get them to find one specific site consistently, unless you know how to do the O, which is optimization. Search engine marketing is pay-per-click advertising, where you choose some keywords, key phrases, and you determine where your ad appears, when it appears, how it appears, and what you actually pay for it. And we'll cover that a little bit in the presentation here. So, great ideas. You have anything you want to share? Okay. Okay, one of the things I want to talk about is mobile. Who in this room has one of these? Okay. Who in this room has one of these that's a smart device? Okay. The reason they call these mobile devices and smartphones is because phone is only a minimum of what this thing can do. When you're talking mobile marketing, and these are some fairly recent numbers, as of June 2014, 61% of all of us have a smartphone. Okay, 91% have a mobile phone. So what's the difference? A smartphone, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can search the internet, you can open up a browser, you can optimize your website from your smartphone. A regular mobile phone, you can make phone calls. Maybe send a text, only text, not a text that includes music files or video files. A regular phone, you can't really do a whole lot with anymore, but they have a place in our world. What I'm holding in my hand has more technology available and in it than the first rocket that took the astronauts to the moon. That's how powerful these devices are. Who in the room reads their email on their phone? Anybody ever delete the email on the phone? Yeah. Okay. When that happens, does it delete it on your account when you log into your regular email account? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Okay. So why did I bring that up? Why is that important? Okay. How many of you looked at an email on your phone and you're doing this and trying to figure out how to see it properly? Okay, and you end up deleting it just because it looks like garbage. If you don't have the right formula for how to compose an email that's going to be sent to a mobile device, you're missing the boat. Okay, and when we talk about that, what percentage of us now have a smartphone? 61. So who's the majority? So who should your messages be targeted to? The person with the smartphone or the person with the text phone? So that's one thing that you may want to take a look at on how you're doing your marketing. Majority of smartphones are on the Android device. Okay, I know Apple talks a big game and Apple's got a good product, but Android is definitely bigger than Apple. Windows has about 3% of the market now. Anybody have a BlackBerry? Okay. BlackBerry pretty much makes up the rest of it. And the reason BlackBerry is still a player in today's world is it's a Canadian company, and a lot of the Canadian companies are loyal to BlackBerry. Okay. Ford Motor Company in Canada has to use BlackBerry. Okay. So when I talk about messages, that's what I'm referring to as a bad message. So what would you do on something like that if you're holding that phone in your hand? Or flip it over to look at it the other way. Okay, here's a car dealer that sent a window sticker to a customer. Can't really see anything. Some more bad examples. That's really strange. When I plugged this in for the first time ever, this gave me a split screen over here, so I'm seeing two slides at once. That's really crazy. So a good example, that dealer who sent the window sticker, that fits on one screen, as long as it's not a BlackBerry. So if you take a look at this and you count, a blank space here, a blank space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 22, 25, 26, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 41. How many characters should you type across on a smartphone? No more than 41, because you don't know what size their screen actually is. The majority of them are a little bit larger today, but if it's a smaller screen, I would recommend you keep that around 28 to 30 characters per line. That way it fits on one. And as far as you're going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18 to 20 lines. Fits on one mobile device. Okay, who can tell me what this is called? And what does it mean when it's blue and it's underlined?
It's a hyperlink.
It's a hyperlink. What do you mean by a hyperlink?
It's clickable, it'll take you to a web page.
It'll take you to a web page, it'll take you to an email address, it'll take you to a couple different things depending on how you actually utilize it. Okay, here's another good example. If you saw this compared to the one that we just looked at, which one are you more inclined to actually utilize and take a deeper look at it? Why?
It's all at a glance.
Okay, it had white space in between, it had a hot link, and this is all blah, 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 blah. So even though it looks like it's going to fit on the mobile device perfectly, what you want them to do is you want them to read it and do something. So what's the call to action here? Please call me. Here, Tim, do your own follow-up. Call me. No. What it should say. Give me an example of what you could put at the bottom line that is a better call to action than call me.
Email me for your email.
Okay, Mr. Customer, do your own follow-up. Email me.
What's the best time for me to call you?
What's the best time for me to call you? Bingo, now what's happening? The call to action is I'm going to call you. Jerry?
I was going to say the same.
You're going to say the same thing. Okay, you know what they say about same thoughts. Great people
Thinking about belly
think.
buttons? I don't
Great
know.
people think. What do great people think?
Alike.
Alike, right.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of give you a little. Okay, so action items. One of the things I'm going to recommend is when you create a mobile template that you're going to send an email out on your mobile device, test it to a couple of different platforms. Send it to yourself if you have an iPhone. Make sure it looks okay on an iPhone. Send it to somebody you know who has an Android device. Send it to somebody who might have a Windows device. If you had to choose only two of those to send it to, what two would you send? Android and what else? Apple. Between the two, they make up 95% of the mobile market. Okay. Shorten your templates like we talked about. Plan some follow-up messaging, primarily very short messages that are designed for text. When you use a graphic email, which means a picture in the email, type text underneath the picture. Okay? If the person receiving it has a visual impairment, they can actually have a device that will read the message to them. If you don't have text beneath the graphic, they never know you included a graphic. So in the diner's case, okay, please enjoy this 20% coupon for savings between now and the end of the year. Whatever it is, just have the text there so that they know that it's there. Okay, any questions on that? This one, this next slide I didn't customize, but what I want to talk about is phone numbers. Okay. When you send a text, also test the 3 different ways to send a text. Brackets, dots, dashes, parentheses. Anybody know why? Click to call. Formatting is not standardized, and as a result, iPhone will look at something differently than an Android device and the other devices. So test it all so that you know your messages are going to go through properly. Send a text message the first part early in the week when you get an opportunity over the internet. Why do we want to send a text message right away? What would happen right now if somebody called your cell phones? Would you answer the call? No. What would happen right now if somebody sent you a text message? You'd read it. You'd look at it at least. You might not answer it, but you'd read it. Top of mind awareness tells you, I've got to answer that the first break, right? So the text message is important. Okay, one thing you also want to keep in mind when you're sending a text is put a signature on it. If you don't tell them who you are, many times it's just a message and they think, okay, who is this? Now if you're in their contacts, you'll show up, but if you're not, you won't. So make sure you put a signature line at the bottom. Who here has a mobile-friendly website? Okay, how would you know if you have a mobile-friendly website? Yeah. Just look at it on a mobile device. Do you have a one-page site with all your links to all your different categories? And if you don't, talk to your webmaster. Make sure that they make it mobile-friendly for you.
That's me.
And where'd you get your training to be a webmaster?
My background is in public relations, communications.
Okay, great. And they taught you how to build websites?
Oh, God.
I did that myself.
Okay, any questions on what we covered thereabouts? No? Come on, there's got to be at least one or two questions.
You're doing good.
Okay, well, this next one boots up. I was expecting to answer some questions. Okay.
I want to go there.
Anybody know where that is?
San Diego?
Davey?
Hawaii?
Hawaii! All right. How did you know that was Hawaii?
Well, there's an ocean over there, so I thought it must be an island.
Very good. Yeah. Who else knows exactly where that is? Where is that? That would be the lagoon outside. Anybody ever watch Hawaii 5-0? Remember the building they have with the rainbow on it? That's right next to the lagoon. So, yeah, you could call it that.
Yeah, a little more.
Well, no, I meant before the ship set sail for 3-day tour.
Okay. Now what happened here?
3 hours, yeah.
For some reason, we lost our connection to this machine over here.
I was watching a show on Cuba the other night, and they had a shot of this beautiful ocean front, and they said, what's missing? There wasn't one boat there, because they're not allowed to have them, because they would leave Cuba and come here.
Okay, I'm going to reboot this because we lost the connection between this and the machine over here.
While you're doing that, what we do, because we don't work computer illiterate, is
Who here goes to Facebook to look for something to buy? Okay.
No, that's why it's
Right.
but not, we
Okay.
feel like we could build.
What is Facebook all about? What is the reason for Facebook?
What's going on in your life, what you're doing, where you're going.
The social network. It's who are you, what are you doing, you know, who's your family, who's your friends. Okay, so with Facebook, there's a couple of things you have to do. You have to look at your page constantly. You have to like other people's posts. Okay, you have to follow other people and ask them to do the same for you. Ask them to follow you.
Well, we've noticed over the last year, since we started promoting the page,
When you're talking any social network, we want you to find, we want you to friend, and follow. I thought maybe one of the munchkins would catch something on that. Anybody catch anything on what I just wrote?
It all started with that.
You spelled friend wrong.
Spell friend wrong, okay? SDC, spelling doesn't count. I was prepared for that because when you're up here, a lot of times you, in the heat of the moment, you spell things wrong. You invert letters. Okay, so just a correction. Okay. Find, friend, and follow. Look, like, and listen. When I say look, like, and listen, what do I mean by listen? What comments are being put on your page? Okay. Do you acknowledge every single comment, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Google+, whatever the case might be? Do you comment? And if this is a negative post, do you acknowledge the fact that it's negative? Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'll be sure to correct it. And once you've corrected it, you go back and tell them how you corrected it. And when you post it, not on your page and theirs, if you can get to theirs, if not, just tag them, okay? You'll also be sharing that with what?
All of their friends.
All of their friends.
Can you explain tagging?
Yeah, just put the @ symbol and then their name.
And what does that do?
That allows it to appear to them when they log in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if you're on Twitter, it's the hashtag to follow a specific topic. So if you hashtag Browns, you're going to get anybody who posted with that hashtag, you'll be able to see and read. Yes, sir.
Later on, can you go more in depth on Twitter? I do not understand the purpose of it.
That's because you're a tweet. I mean,
You mean a twit?
the only purpose for Twitter
Yeah,
is social.
okay.
It's social media. The only reason for Facebook is social media. It's getting your name in front of everybody very, very quickly, and sometimes it can go viral. What I mean by that is, you think it just went to 1 or 2 people that are on your friends list, they share it, how many friends do they have? The average person has what? Anybody know? 200 friends? Yeah, 200 plus last I saw. There was a time that it dropped down, and when it dropped down, it was down to like 181. So who's good at math?
Sorta.
If I had 181 friends, and I shared something to them, and they had 181 friends that they shared it to, how many is that?
181 squared.
Okay. Now, if they shared it to everybody on their friends list, it's 182 times 182 times 182. Okay. And if it goes a 4th time, you're well on your way to viral. But why would everybody share it? Has to be a good message, right? Are they going to share the fact that Julia took all arounds in first place all arounds in her gymnastics competition? If it's family and friends and people who like gymnastics, absolutely. Okay? If it's J.C. Sullivan is the greatest videographer in the world because he's my brother, is anybody going to share that? Absolutely not. So your message has to be precise, address anything that's negative, and positive. How do you address something that's positive?
Please, thank you.
Yes. Things our parents taught us when we were little. Thank you very much for that comment. That was fantastic. Please share this with your family and friends. Always leave them with a call to action.
Okay.
I'm still not picking that up, so we're going to have rolling revisions even more so. I don't know why it's not picking it up. I read.
The best.
Okay. That message could be sending them to your website where all your specials are. That message could be a coupon for 5% off, 10% off this visit if they're in the store. Okay. What's another form of communication that you can use with technology? Texting. Okay. It's interesting. My son's 28 years old. And how many text messages do you think he does a month? Thousands.
Is that my phone bill?
Thousands. Yeah. Thousands and thousands and thousands. Okay. How many do you think I do? Hundreds. Okay. So you got to make your messages towards the specific age group of your clients that you're going after. If your market is people above the age of 50, okay, how should you approach that demographic? Pardon?
Print ad?
Okay. The exact same way you do any demographic. Okay. I first got on a computer in 1986. I can remember when he walked into my office and said, "I got to show you something really cool. It's called Windows 3.1. I said, "Leave me alone. I don't care about it. I just want to be able to print letters." But yet I've been on the internet longer than most people that I meet in any sessions that I ever do. Okay. Back then, the internet was something called Bitcom. You know how you had to access it? Through a modem, which connected to a telephone, connected to the library, or connected to a city government. That's how you got on the internet, because they had it, nobody else did. When the World Wide Web came about, it made it easy for all of us. Windows made a point and click simple. Okay, and today we take it for granted. Technology assisted selling, how to use it to sell, find, keep, and sell customers profitably. Some of these slides, don't pay attention to. This is designed to be a 4-day presentation that I try to condense into 90 minutes or so. I'm not going to go through any of that. We did that. That's one thing. What about challenges? What kind of challenges are you facing in today's market?
As far as kind of a digital strategy for my business, I'm kind of
Availability of time. Okay. What other challenges? I had one happen to me. What about the equipment that you're using? I have 2 projectors. Okay, over the weekend, I turned one on to get ready for this presentation. It didn't work. Turned on the second one, the bulb blew out. So I had to make a rolling revision. I contacted the library. They let us use this. I also have a second computer with me in case something happens to that. So the technology itself can be a challenge. Okay, how many times have you been in an important event and your battery dies? Okay. Technology can be a major challenge to anything you want to do. Okay, mystery shop. I went too far. Okay. What do I mean by mystery shop? Anybody have an idea?
Mystery shoppers?
Yeah.
So you hire some company or friends, and they go into your competition. Or I'm sorry, when they come into you have some mystery shopper come into your restaurant or wherever, and they grade you on your.
Is sometimes you're so busy because of the time availability, things slip through the cracks on us. And we need an outside person to tell us and keep us on track. Okay. Mystery shopping is also your competition. Okay. What are they doing that you aren't doing that you might be able to learn from and incorporate in your business? Okay. How many photos do you take when you list a house?
20 to 25. Well, how many do I take?
Yeah.
I probably take like 60.
How many do you utilize?
Generally around 20.
So you utilize around 20 photos. How about somebody else, your biggest competitor in your
It
market?
would be the same because you max out at 25.
Okay. A picture is worth
1,000 words.
only if it's a good picture,
Sure.
right?
1,000 good words or bad words, right?
That's right. Okay. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's a video worth?
Billion.
Yeah. Okay. Who's using video in any of their marketing?
Not at all.
We've been wanting to.
Okay.
We don't know how to do it.
Again, it's the time thing, too.
Now, here's something really interesting.
It's like that TV show with Tim Allen.
Oh, he's like to do that so bad.
Stand By Me, or what, where he owns the sports shop?
Yeah,
What is it?
yes, yes, yes.
And he does his own video. I said, we've got to do that for the restaurant, you know, have some videos in our Facebooks and stuff.
Okay, so in that 20 seconds, I just took a video of you explaining that.
Okay.
Okay, so now, what can I do with that video?
Put it on Facebook,
Put it on Facebook? Where else? YouTube? Where else?
your website.
Where else?
You could put it into an email.
Put it into an email? Where else? You see,
It's limited.
All of this is what we call marketing. Okay? But you have to have a strategy for your marketing. Otherwise, okay, I just took a video, so what? Where is it? It's in my pocket. What's going to happen to it? It's going to stay in my pocket unless I choose to do something with it. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit here.
You can sell it to them, Ed.
That's right.
You know, it's funny that you say that. Years ago, when all this internet stuff started, we signed a confidentiality agreement, and we said that we wouldn't buy any domain names that our clients had the right to buy. So we were assigned to Ford Motor Company, so we couldn't buy anything that said Ford. A fellow sitting 2 desks away from me thought outside of the box, and he bought ToyotaTrucks.com. What did he do with ToyotaTrucks.com that he paid $10 a year for? He leased it to Toyota Motor Company, and they paid him not $5,000, they paid him $50,000 a year. Okay. He thought outside the box. He owns over 1,000 domain names that he rents out to other people. Toyota quit paying him because they changed their advertising, so he now leases it to a dealer. Okay, so I thought this was interesting. 3 times every second, somebody buys a new PC or mobile device. You know, e-commerce has actually exploded through all industries. And you know, some of this is real basic stuff, but 70 to 90% of all customers today are using the internet. Okay, do you find that true in your business?
Yes.
Okay. So where should the majority of our marketing be focused? Here's some myths. Internet technology will replace salespeople. Okay, and in this case, take that verbiage and change it to anything you want. Technology does not sell homes. Technology does not sell insurance. Technology does not sell food. Technology does not sell payroll services. Technology does not sell trucking services. Okay. 2, internet customers take too long. Okay. In actuality, when somebody contacts you on the internet, is that a buying signal? Okay. If they send you a message, are they closer to doing business or further away? If I drive down Pearl Road and I see Hot Dog Diner and I see the sign, okay, I saw it. It's important. There's an impression there in my mind. Okay? I'm not going to act on it at that point in time unless what?
You're hungry?
I'm hungry and I saw the sign and I pull in. So an impression is important, whether it's a signage, whether somebody said newspaper before, whether it's a newspaper or whether it's online. Okay? I've also heard this said, that you can't make money with internet customers. Anybody in the room made money with internet customers? Was it a fair profit? Define fair. What's a fair profit?
I mean, the same amount of money as I would, regardless of where I found the customer.
Exactly. And fair means the customer thought enough of your product to buy it. Doesn't matter what the price is. You created enough value that they thought that it was a fair price. So fair means the two of you came together, basically. Okay? So the internet customer, when we talk about them, and we talked about who they are, and we already said it's almost everybody, 90%. Why would somebody be on a laptop, on a PC, on a mobile device, leave that technology and come into your place of employment and do business with you? Why would they come off and come here?
They want to meet you.
Okay, I said it a couple times earlier. People, they want to meet you, but you've given them an actionable item to do. Okay. If you don't invite them in, what's the chances they're going to come in? If you don't tell them what to do, will they know what to do? How would you prefer that I communicate with you today? Do you want an email? Would you like a phone call? Would you like a text message? Who's the best person to answer that message for you?
Your customer.
Your customer. So who communicates by email to their customer? Who communicates by text? Who communicates by phone? Did you ever ask them, what's the best way for me to reach you?
Yes.
What do they say?
Depends. In some cases it's text, in a lot of cases it's email.
Yep, depends on the person. But you got to give them the availability of all three technologies. And the fourth technology. What's the fourth?
In person.
In person. Walk in. Did you ever have an ad or ever have a message that did not include your address? Make sure that whatever you promote in your marketing, you have your address, your email address, text, and phone numbers. So, in the case of text, is text big in today's world?
Huge.
Text to. Anybody ever hear that? Text the word hot dog to. Whatever the number is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. One of the biggest users of text in the state of Ohio is Papa John's. Text the word Papa John to 90210. Why? He's now captured an a phone number and a text address. First thing that happens when you use a text to number, they get an automatic response that says, you've opted into text messaging, you'll receive 2 to 5 messages per whatever you want, per day, per week, per month, per year. To opt out, text the word stop. The national opt-out code, stop. Okay, so Papa John's, 90210. I text that. Okay, what do I get from them? Coupon. Welcome to the Papa John's family. Today you can use this coupon for whatever, 10% off, $5 off. Simply show this message to the cashier. Okay?
How do you get that number?
Used to do that. That's what we used to do. Remember? We find out.
It's called short code marketing. So just Google short code texting. But here's the key with it. What's your strategy to use it? If you don't have a strategy to use it, don't do it. Okay? If you don't have the time available, don't do it. Because then what happens is what you were alluding to. You start getting overwhelmed. What do I work on next? What do I do next? What do I do now? What should I answer first? What's more important? Is it more important to take this video, or is it more important to contact a text company today? Okay. It all depends on how you're going to optimize it. And you've heard me say that several times. Okay, it's interesting. This pie chart here shows a list of what people are looking for when they're on the internet. Price. Do you have what they want? Okay. So of everything that's there, what should your strategy include? Pricing. Because if you don't include pricing, where are they going to go? Could you ever list a house without a price?
No.
I've seen it done.
Yeah.
And when I see it done, you know what I do? I go to the next one. You know, they don't even have the decency to tell me how much they're asking for it. Forget it. The price you put on there doesn't have to be the selling price. It's a starting point. Okay, if you're in a business that you negotiate, you're always going to have a starting point. Inventory. Should you tell them what you have? When should you not tell them what you have? When you don't have it. Okay. Do you have a house listed right now in Parma Heights, Ohio?
In Parma Heights, no.
Okay, so you wouldn't tell us about that. Okay. If you had merchandise where you had options and colors, that would be important. How about comparisons? How does your product rate against this product?
You do that?
Sure, why not? As long as it's a third party.
We talked about that.
As long as it's a third party. It can't be your word. It has to be a third party evidence. Okay, so ABC Corporation said this. Okay, Yelp said this. Okay, Google Plus said this. Somebody else said this. It's never you saying it. Okay, you can never do it yourself. Okay, easy to use. If your site is not easy to use, forget it. If your strategy did not include one-click options, forget it. Okay, so one-click option. What does a one-click option mean? If I'm looking for payroll services for a company between 20 and 25 employees, and on your website it has payroll services and it says up to 25 employees, and I click on it, where should that direct me?
Well, right now, it would direct you to send a quote request with the information that we would.
To request a quote?
Yes.
Okay, so why not send them to a page all about what you offer for that type of small business? Now with one click, I found the information and a quote request. Okay, because if it's just the quote request, guess what? I'm already on your site. Where's the information? Bye-bye. Okay, when somebody comes to your site and they leave your site without contacting you, that's a bad thing for two reasons. Number one, you don't get the opportunity, but number two, Google ranks you on how deep people go into your website. And when people say, I want to be on page one, I want to be on page one, well, if you're getting a lot of people leaving your site after one click, your ranking's not going to be very good. And you're going to be down closer to the bottom of the trillion websites. If you do something that's against their terms of service, boom, you're done. They will blackball you across their platforms. It is a nightmare to get relisted. Okay, so reviews. Are these important? Where are your reviews? Where are your reviews? If I'm a customer and I want to review you, where are they?
That's, in my business, they're in way too many places. Because they're on, because they're on Zillow, they're on Trulia, they're on Realtor.com, they're on my website, they're on my Facebook page. And for me to, part of this strategy that I need to figure out how to execute is where is the one place to capture reviews, and is it possible to syndicate reviews across all the websites, all the media?
Yes, that is possible.
In my business.
Yeah, you can do that, but you have to pay a fee to do it. So, but yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in light of all of that, with everything he just said, okay, any ideas? Where would you want your reviews to show up?
On your site.
On your site? Where else? How do I find your site?
On Google.
Google. So where should your reviews be?
Google.
On Google. Are you actively asking people for reviews on your Google page? Do you have a Google page? Are you listed on Google Maps? Okay, if you're listed on Google Maps, do you own the listing where you can go in and you can make changes to your own listing on Google Maps? Mm-hmm. One of the things I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do some more rolling revisions here. Let's talk a little bit about where to place your information. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. We talked about Instagram. That's important to you folks. Jerry just listed a whole bunch of places. What is Google?
Hey, brother.
Come on, what is it? What's Google?
Search engine.
What's Google?
Where that aggregates information.
Okay, what's Google?
A website.
Okay, where's my math wizard? What's Google?
One with
A 1 with 1,000 zeros after it is where Google started, okay? Google, as we refer to today, I'm going to Google it, okay? Google is not a search engine. Google is the world's largest advertising agency. They deliver the message through search. It's a tool that they use to get the message across. So remember we talked about SEM, search engine marketing? That's where you pay Google to put your message out there. Google is one of 2 stocks that ever hit over $700 a share. So do you think people click on those ads? Absolutely. Okay. So you need a presence on Google. Give me an example of where you should be on Google. Okay.
Right on top.
Okay.
Google Plus.
Google Plus. What is Google Plus?
It's like a social.
It's a social network, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, just like Twitter, just like all the others that are out there. So why should you have a presence on Google Plus? Who do you think likes Google Plus? Google. So if you have a presence on G Plus, guess what? It's all controlled under one account. One login, you can access all your Google apps. Okay, so instead of building Facebook pages, and instead of building all your efforts towards Facebook, branch out a little bit. Okay, why Google instead of Facebook? Do you know what open source coding is? Open source means any developer has access to it, and they can add to it and make apps for you. Facebook doesn't do that. Facebook gets controlled by Facebook. G Plus is controlled by the world. Okay. We talk.
In our situation, not like his, he wants to get anybody from Indiana, California to move to the Cleveland market. We don't want the people from California and Indiana hooking on to us.
That's a beautiful thing.
And all we want is local. We want 3 to 5 miles.
And I will show you how to do that.
Okay.
Okay. I talked about video. Where would you put this video? Okay. What did you say, Colleen?
On YouTube.
Okay. I heard YouTube and I heard Google Plus. What is YouTube?
It belongs to Google.
Oh, Google owns it, right?
YouTube's right there.
Yeah, so Google owns YouTube, they own G+, and there's actually, and I've got it in the slideshow, but I'm going to stay off of that because of time. There's actually over 1 billion videos looked at every single month on YouTube. Okay. So now, you mentioned put your video on G+, and you can share it to Google. Who here has a blog? There's a company out there, oops, I almost used the wrong color, called Blogger. There's a company out there called WordPress. Both of them are blog sites. I'm going to recommend, here's where you do a little bit of double duty. You have one of each. Have a Blogger and have a WordPress. WordPress can serve as your website. Okay. Blogger is owned by who? The color should give it away. Google. So Google owns Blogger, they own G+, of course they own Google, they own YouTube, and several other businesses out there. So where should you be spending the majority of your effort, would you guess?
Something owned by Google.
On something owned by Google. Now we've talked about websites a little bit. When you build a blog, the blog in essence is a website. But who owns the blog? You do, right? When you put a video on YouTube, who has the rights to your video? Yeah. Well, YouTube uses it for search engine optimization. If you look at any video on YouTube, it'll say http:// bunch of numbers /youtube.com / a bunch of numbers / whatever you titled it. Who's getting the search engine optimization? youtube.com. So if you took that same video and put it on your blog, guess what? Who now gets the optimization? Both of you, because it's going to be your title.blogger, but your title is going to be first with whatever you put there. So now you own it, it's there. If YouTube went bye-bye, guess where your video is? It's still on your blog, it's still on your website. Okay, you need to put it everywhere that you actually own and control and somebody else doesn't, so you have search engine optimization. Okay? Make sense? Does that help you at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm lost. I'm hoping she's following me.
Okay. You take the video, you optimize the video, and you put the video on Blogger, on WordPress, or on your own
Now,
site.
how does the whole YouTube thing work? Like, we have been on, like New Day Cleveland, we've been on the news a lot. Can we use their link and put it on YouTube? Is that legal? Where's the,
Whose video is it? Is it yours or is it theirs?
it's theirs?
Then you have to get their permission.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if it's already on YouTube and it's in their public domain and you can download it off YouTube,
Yeah.
then you can do whatever you want to it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. As long as it's in the public
Get it from
domain.
YouTube, it's
Yeah.
their game.
Yep.
Okay.
But when you do, the key in all of this is the O. You have to optimize it. If you don't optimize it, it's just another video that's out there. One of a billion a month that gets uploaded. Okay. So now let's talk about marketplace, marketing. Some of you have seen part of this presentation, so it might be repetitive for you. But does anybody here like baseball? Okay. Okay, does everybody here understand baseball?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm the batter. Do I walk up to home plate, just start hacking away at the pitcher? What's my objective when I get to home plate? What's my goal? What's my goal when I get to home plate? Somebody else.
Make contact with it.
Okay? Somebody else.
Get back to home plate.
Get back to home plate, right? In the game of baseball, the idea is to score. Okay? You either score by making contact and getting a hit, now you're on base and somebody else knocks you in. But if I just show up down here at home plate and I don't have a plan when I'm at the batter's box, what's my chances of making contact and succeeding? So in the game of baseball, over here, you've got what's called an on-deck circle. When I'm a batter and I'm in the on-deck circle, I'm looking at, okay, where are the fielders positioned? What's the pitcher doing? How is he holding the ball? I'm watching to learn so that when I get up here, I might have a slightly better chance when he throws the ball to actually hit it. And if I'm really good, down here in the dugout, I'm up here on the steps watching everything. Watching the infielders, watching the outfielders, where are they positioned, so that I might see a hole that I might be able to hit the ball to. And if I'm a top-notch pro, prior to ever getting to the ballpark, I'm watching videos. Because I need my strategy to work. If I don't strategize properly, I'm not going to be successful at what I do. So it all starts with putting your strategy in writing and making sure all your employees and all the people that report to you know what your strategy is. Once you have a strategy, what comes into play next? Jerry, do you remember?
Execution.
Okay. Colleen, do you remember? I don't know if you were at the presentation. Okay. So you're at first base. Okay. You're trying to get around the bases. Okay. First base is the marketing center. So how are you doing marketing? We talked about YouTube. We talked about WordPress. We talked about Blogger. We talked about search engine optimization, search engine marketing. We talked about texting. We talked about mobile. What part of that puzzle is in your portfolio and what part of that puzzle is missing? So part of your strategy, when you go back to strategy, is what do you want to implement for your business? Do you want to do QR codes? Do you want to do video? If you do, who's going to do it? Who's going to implement it? That's all part of your strategy. Marketing is video. Marketing is email. Marketing is text. Marketing is web. Marketing is phone. And the list goes on and on and on. Postcards, newspaper ads, you name it. You got to pick and choose what you want. I'm going to recommend that your marketing, send them to second base. Second base is where they have the best opportunity to convert to your business. So if it's a website, second base becomes your www. If it's a blog, second base becomes your blog. If it's YouTube, second base becomes YouTube. Where are you going to send the people that have come to your marketing center? You're spending all this money to find the people. Now, how do you get them where you want them to be? Calls to action. I said it twice already earlier, calls to action. Have your phone number, your email address, your text, your QR code, whatever it is you use on every single piece of marketing information you do. The goal here is for them to contact you. Okay? Once they contact you, that means they're going down the baseline towards third base, which is your process. If I contact you by a text message, how should you respond?
Text message,
And what should your message be?
about 120 characters long.
Okay. Thank you for contacting me, Tim. I really appreciate this. What would be the best way for me to reach you? Phone, text, or email? Text, phone, or email. However you want to say it. Get their input, because maybe they texted you, but they prefer to talk. Okay, get their permission. That's permission-based marketing. Get their permission to contact them. Okay. If I don't hear back from you within the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you say, I'll try you again. Okay. How often should you get back to a customer when they've inquired? Doesn't matter what they ask about. How often should your message go to them? Is once a day enough? Twice a day? 4 times a day? Once a week? Once a month? That all has to be thought out ahead of time so that you have an opportunity to get them in your process to do what? Close them. And when you close them, you're right back here at your strategy. So what this does is this helps you with your marketing find customers. Okay. Send them to your website. Get an opportunity. The opportunity is phone, text, email, walk-in. Maybe it'll change in the near future. Who knows? It's the internet. Okay, once they're there, put them into your process to sell them product. We have an acronym called STIPS. Strategy. Traffic is developed with your marketing. The I is interactivity. Okay, do they find what they're looking for when they get to wherever you send them? The P is your process, and the last S is sales. So by following something like that, we help you find, sell, and keep customers profitably. And guess where they are once you sell them? They're right back in your strategy. How are you going to resell them? How are you going to get them to re-engage you again and again and again? Okay.
How am I going to help them sell me to other potential customers?
Give me an example. How would you?
Well, capturing reviews, if it was a positive experience, which hopefully it was. Asking them to, another call to action, right?
Another call to action.
Reviews, posts on Facebook, gather feedback, is another important thing, I think, at that stage.
If in your strategy you have something set aside to do something with the feedback. If you just gather it and read it, so what? It has to be actionable. So now, here's some things in my library on my phone, right? The very first one's a little video that I just took, right? If I want to share that, I just simply hit the share button at the top, okay? It tells me, okay, which one? I'm going to do, I don't want all. I'm going to do the one we just did, and I hit my share button at the bottom of the page. Where do I want to share it? Do I want to send the video in a message? Do I want to put it on Dropbox? Do I want to put it in Evernote? Do I want to share it from Bluetooth from my phone to your phone? Do I want to send it in an email? Do I want to put it on Facebook, Gmail, Google+, Instagram, Messenger, Office, my online photo album, YouTube? Where do I want to share it? So simply tapping and saying share, guess where it just went? Instagram, YouTube. Okay. But there's more to it than that. What has to happen prior to sending this video anywhere?
Make sure it's high
high quality, okay? So your camera's got to be set for high quality. The other thing that you have to do is optimize, optimize, optimize. What does optimize mean? Any ideas?
Optimize means getting the most value out of it.
Getting the most value, okay? So remember I talked about it, if you have an ad, you want to put the verbiage below the picture. Okay, why? Get the most value out of it, right? But when you have a picture, that's crazy, it's not showing up again. Let's try something here. I don't want to reboot this. I want to show you guys how to actually optimize something. Well, it's not showing up, so I'm going to reboot again because I really want to show you guys this. It's simply a matter of going to Instagram.com, creating an account, just like you did Facebook. Username, password. Now, username and passwords. They always tell you don't make it something so easy that it's, a child could crack it. So you should always include a number. If they allow you to, use a character. Use a combination of capitalization and small letters. Okay. Makes it the most difficult to crack unless you're actually using a CAPTCHA system where you got to type in the verbiage. Okay. Why do we tell you to do something like that? Because if I have a robot that's trying to go through and steal your password, it makes it more difficult when there's different things. It'll take them a lot longer to get to it. Eventually they will, but knock wood, where's wood? Okay. Hasn't happened to me in all the years I've been online. Okay. Optimization. Let's talk about that for a second. Let me go back up here. Can you guys see this okay from where you're sitting? Okay. Okay. My picture is my company, ABC Company. I take the picture, my camera names it #1.jpg usually, right? What do I name that picture?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want, right? So what should you name it? Since it's your logo, what I usually see is somebody naming it logo.jpg, right? The search engines, no matter which one, cannot read the picture. They read the name underneath. They cannot read the video. They read the name underneath. So for my company, it becomes CYA Team, LLC, with dashes or underscores, depending on the software you're using. Okay, why? Because now the search engine reads CYA Team, LLC. Okay, what is it? It's my logo. So I know what it is. Okay, where am I located? Parma dash Heights. So now the search engine picks up Parma as a keyword and Parma Heights. Okay, I'm also going to put in there Brecksville, Broadview Heights, Cleveland, Brooklyn. You get the idea? .jpg. Now you copy all of this. When you copy it, put it into a cheat sheet. Put it into a Word document. Okay. So now next time you're going to label a picture, the only thing you have to go in and change is the word logo. Okay, so according to Google, when the average person searches for a product, they put the name of what they want. Have we all done that?
Yeah.
What else do you do? You put the city. The majority of searches today are done with a location in mind. Okay, so by putting this, and if that's the cities that I market, my 3 to 5 mile radius, it's going to show up if they put in Parma, Parma Heights, whatever it is. Now when it shows up and you're on Google, and you're on Google Plus, you're on YouTube, you're on Maps, you're on Google Businesses, guess what also shows up? The map of your business with your address, your phone number, your email address, and any information you plug in there, any coupons you have. So now, if I click on it, sure, I found the picture, I click on the picture, and boom, it just indexed over to you. Okay? Now, try doing that to 1,000 pictures. Try doing that to 1,000 videos. What do you think happens to SEO? Can you control page 1? For your market. That's what it's all about. It's controlling, and that's just one tip that I'm giving you on how to do this. Another tip, search engine marketing, pay per click. Has anybody here ever done search engine marketing? Pay per click? Okay, so when you pay per click, you're telling Google that you're willing to pay for anybody to click on this word and find my website. And you can be 1, 2, or 3 at the top. You could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down the side. But you're somewhere on that page results if it's done properly. Thank you. There's a couple different ways to do pay per click. First off, what's your budget? You determine your budget. Jerry, are you doing pay per click at all? Okay. So let's say your budget is $1,000 a month. Okay. The good news is you'll never pay more than $1,000 a month. Okay. The bad news is you might only pay $1. Why is that bad news? Because you didn't do it properly. You weren't enticing enough for me to click on your ad. The good news is you can change your SEM minute by minute by minute. You guys remember hearing about cash for clunkers 3 or 4 years ago?
Yes.
Immediately, in a specific market that we were working, we took cash for clunkers and we rebranded as many pictures as we could, as many videos as we could, and our search engine marketing account. Search engine marketing was Cash for Clunkers, Louisville, Kentucky. And guess what happened? This dealership got overwhelmed with people looking for Cash for Clunkers. And because we had done it so rapidly, the speed of the internet, the newspapers picked up on all of the links that we did, and all of a sudden, Cash for Clunkers, before the manufacturers put out their advertising campaigns, was all over in Louisville, Kentucky for that particular dealer. The speed of light? No, it's the speed of the internet. When you make a change, that change is instantaneous. It happens immediately. Okay, so let's say I wanted to use the word 4-bedroom and that's all I wanted to use. Rexville, Ohio. And that's what I want to advertise. Now, I might also suggest under $300,000. So now if I'm doing a search for a 4-bedroom Rexville, Ohio under $300,000, guess what? If I'm doing search engine marketing and I'm paying for that, I'm going to show up in the results. Okay? Does it make sense so far? How much of this $1,000 do you want to divulge towards that ad on a daily basis? Okay, let's say you want to spend $10 a day. That's $300. on that one ad. Okay, you with me so far? Okay. When do you want your ad to show up? When do you want it to show up? Do you want it to show up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? What's the chance that there's somebody up looking for a house at that time of the day? You don't know until you actually do it and you track what you've done. So you got to measure everything that you do, because in our area, there might be people working a second or third shift. That's the only time they have to shop. So you got to look to see what's working best for your market. So you might want to say, I want my ad to show up Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And guess what? It will only show up in those time frames. Now, what if that's not enough? You can go in and you can say, well, I also want it to show up from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's the same ad, but two separate sets of criteria that Google will run it off of. And you'll get two different measurements to see which is going to work best for you. Okay, does that make sense? When they click on this, when they click on your ad, where should that click take me?
To what page?
Be more specific.
Well, for this situation, it's going to take you to pictures of the house.
It should take you right to the information page about this house. If it takes me to your home page, and I got to look for it, here's what happens. Google gave you a little tap on the hand. That was wrong. That's a little spank. You misdirected your consumer. You told them your ad was about a 4-bedroom, and you sent them to abc.com. That's no good. Okay? They call that a quality score. How much are you paying for this ad? Okay, it's $300 a month, $10 a day. Maybe you're willing to pay 50 cents every time they click it. Well, if your quality score is bad, you're going to pay 50 cents every time. If your quality score is good, Google will only charge you 1 or 2 cents higher than the next person who advertised that has a good quality score. So if my quality score is good and yours is, and I bid 20 cents a click, and you bid 50 cents, you're going to pay 21, 22 cents a click. If your quality score is good, and your budget is spent, Google doesn't want blank pages. So what they'll say is, okay, who had the best quality scores? Let's run their ad for free on our site just so we don't have blank space. So doing it right will reward you.
How do you know what your quality score is?
You can look at it. You log into your Google account and they'll tell you exactly. Okay? The nice thing with Google also is you can call them and they'll do the campaigns for you if you want. Okay? The other thing that you can do, you can tell them, I want my ad to appear in 44130, 44129, 44134. Nowhere else. That's target marketing. You can say, I want my ad to appear within 5 miles of my address. Be careful what you ask for there, because in our market area, 5 miles might take you to the valley where there's no industry. It might take you to the flats where you don't do any business with down there. It might take you to Lake Erie, depending on where you're positioned. So in many cases, you're better off doing the zip codes, targeting zip codes. And then look at the results. If 34 is not getting you any results, eliminate 34 and try a different one. Okay? Now, there's also what's called headline ads, or box ads, or skyscraper ads. Have you ever been on somebody's website, and at the top, there's somebody's ad? Cleveland.com is a good example. You'll see up here, maybe Burger King on Cleveland.com. Down the side, you'll see other ads. These are called box ads. This is called a banner ad. Maybe you'll see an ad like this. It's all one company. It's called a skyscraper. If somebody sees it, it's an impression. When you do this type of advertising, it's very, very cheap. You might pay $50 for 1,000 impressions. You might pay $50 for 10,000. You don't know unless you try it. But what happens is they saw it, they see it again, they see it again, they see it again. One of these times they click on it. Where does it take them? Wherever you want it to go. To a page on your site, to your home page. But the nice thing is one-click experience. If it's Burger King and it takes me to BurgerKing.com, Google's fine with that. If it's a milkshake ad, it better take me to a milkshake page. Okay? If it's a 4-bedroom ad, it better not take me to a 2-bedroom page. Okay? It better be something about the 4-bedroom. If it's disability for your employees, I better not go to your home page. If I go to your home page, now I got to look for it. There's a tap on the hand from Google. And they don't tell you how many taps you get before they ding you. Okay? And when they ding you, it's across all platforms. Blogger, YouTube, G+. When you do it right, it's across all platforms.
Do you know if you got a tap on the hand?
If you're looking at your quality scores, yeah. You should measure everything that you are doing, and you manage that measurement by looking at it daily, every other day. So when you're talking about time availability, that's one of the things, is measuring what you're managing and managing what you're measuring. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to do it all. You have an assistant that can do it for you? Do you have an employee that can do it for you? Do you have a partner that can do it for you? Like that little guy in the red jacket, he can do it all for me. Any other questions on that? Okay, so in creating oh, by the way, why would I allow you to put your ad on my website? What?
You like the product?
Like the product? What else? Do I get paid? Yeah. Absolutely. Here's the important part to know. If I'm on the ad network and Google is allowing you to have this here, and let's just go back to pay-per-click. Let's say it's $1 per click. And you let that ad show up on your website, how much does Google pay you? It's a 50-50 partnership. 50 cents every time somebody clicks. So if you have something that goes viral, you can make some money. Okay? They will not pay this out until the kitty reaches $100. Okay? They don't want to be sending out 50-cent checks. Okay? That's why you can host ads. If I were hosting ads, I would have a specific page on my website, our partner pages, our recommended pages, whatever the case might be, where I have it just on that page, not on my home page. You won't make as much money, but it will get you search engine optimization, which is free. My son has a business, and he bought it about just over a year ago. And one of the things we talked about was, how do you market your business? And one of the things we talked about is what I just talked about, links. Okay, an inbound link to your website is extremely important. An outbound link from your website to somebody else's site is extremely important to them. So one of the first things he does is when he meets with somebody, he builds a client's one-page website for that client. He links it off of his site. So right now, he's probably got 50 of them on there. He always sends it to the client and says, this is how I'm representing your business. Do you like it? Okay, and he gets it a URL. And when he does that, he's just now created search engine optimization for your site, because you're a partner of his, you're a client of his, whatever the case might be. Okay. Well, what's the double whammy on that? Is if you own the website, okay, you've also just got search engine optimization for yourself. It's a double link. A link out, okay, and then the link to his site is within the name. Now, the most beautiful part would be if you also did a partner page on your site and you did the exact same thing. That's called the reciprocating link. He links to you, you link to him. Google says, that's fabulous. That's how we want this to work. okay? It helps you both tremendously, okay? So let's talk about, what time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock. Okay. I'm here however late you guys want me to be here, up till about 12:30. So if you have to leave early, like Colleen let me know ahead of time she had to leave, so did my brother. I'll answer as many questions as I can, and I'll focus on specifics if you want me to. I'm trying to talk in generalities because of 3 different businesses represented. Okay. So what would be the first thing that you guys would want to do when you leave here?
That's the toughest question there. That's my biggest problem. Yeah.
Any ideas? I'll give you an idea.
Strategy development.
Strategy. The strategy consists of what? Where? Who? Or the 3 P's. People, process, and pay. Okay, so now, I already know that some of you are doing your own marketing. Okay, so the strategy behind that marketing. What do you want the results to be? How do you want to achieve them? How are you going to measure them? Where are you going to do your marketing? Okay. Who's going to do it? Are you going to continue to do it yourself, or do you have to hire an employee to do it, hire an outside agency or an outside firm to do it? What people are you going to utilize to carry out your strategy? Do you have a process? What do you do with your strategy? Every Monday morning, what do you do for your marketing? What do you do Tuesday? What do you do Wednesday? What do you do Thursday? And so on. What is that process for your marketing? If you're going to do it yourself, are you going to pay yourself? If you're going to have one of your employees do it, is it going to be an additional stipend for them? The worst thing in the world is to take an employee and give them the Mad Hatter effect. Pile more and more and more on top of them till they become overwhelmed, and worst case scenario, their pay didn't even change. Okay? So you got to look at all of that when it comes to strategy. Does that make sense? Okay. So now, marketing. Marketing is the next step. Based on everything we covered, I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to ask you each to give me one idea on where you're going to add or remove something from your marketing. Are you guys all heading out?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me 1 second here. You can shut that off.